Hi, I'm Max from Downforce Recordings, and today I want to talk to you about the new Adam S3H monitor series. So, the Adam Audio S3H. I was an Adam user for a long time. I had the A7X series for around 2 years, produced and mixed many albums on those speakers, and I really liked them. But at some point I wanted to upgrade my monitor speakers, so I was looking for something better. And I was looking at Neumann 310s, at Event Opals, maybe some Focals. There was many options there, but no Adams. And I was kind of disappointed about that because I really liked the A7X series and I wanted to have that kind of voicing in my speaker. So yeah, I went with these things, with the Event Opal. Those are great speakers, and the reason I picked them over the Neumann KH310s was the voicing of the speaker. They are not really neutral, they have a very pleasing sound, and they are not like overrepresented in the midst. They are not sounding like too analytical. You can still enjoy listening to music on them. And that was something I really liked about the A7Xs from Adam, because I didn't really like need something super analytical, because that kind of goes against my like my normal hearing tendencies. Because I like music, I like to listen to music with a lot of bass and a little bit of that cut out mid-range. So I naturally gravitated to the Event Opals. The Event Opals sound really hi-fi-like, and they are sounding like really pleasing to listen to music on those. And the Adams have a similar voicing, especially on the Pure preset, but they are like more direct. It feels like the speaker is reacting faster to the music that is played through. You almost have the impression that you're wearing headphones, because everything is like so close to your ear, and you can hear I personally heard stuff in my old mixes and then music that I normally listen to that I've never heard before. And that is said so many times in so many reviews about so many studio monitors, that they heard something they never heard before in music they listened to. And I never had that effect. Like, I came from Yamaha HS8s, then I had Genelec 3020s, then I had Adam A7Xs, then I had the Event Opals, and now I'm on the S3H. And with the S3H versus the Event Opals, the first time I had that experience, that I actually heard stuff in the music that I never heard before. A little bit of the downside to the speakers is their size, because they are massive. Like you can see in the background, the Event Opals are not small speakers, and one speaker weighs like 25 kilograms of the Event Opals. And the Adams aren't like heavier by a lot, I think, but they are just giants in size. My table is almost like too small for them. And what I find really interesting is that the speakers are actually classified as midfield monitors, not as near field monitors like the Event Opals. And I was really worried about that at first. Like, I thought I might be sitting way too close to the speakers and I wouldn't hear them right, and the sweet spot would shift a lot when I move my head. But that's not the case at all. Like, they are really forgiving in that regard. You don't need to be like super far away from them. The bass response on the S3Hs is a little bit different than compared to the Event Opals. Sorry, I'm comparing like almost everything to the Event Opals because those are the speakers I know the best. The bass response of the S3H is like a little drier, a little faster, and a little more direct. And they don't, like, it doesn't feel like they go as deep as the Event Opals. But for me, that's not really a problem, because I'm running them with two Adam Audio Sub-8s, and I ran the Event Opals with that as well. So I don't really have a problem with the, like, not enough bass response or something. Another thing that I find really interesting about the S3H is the highs are super clear, super fast, and super direct. Like especially when you are listening to vocals on solo, they are like almost in your ear. It's super, super close. And I like that a lot because I can hear every mistake they made, every like weird noise that they made while they were singing. And for editing, it's really, really handy. But I can see, because I read many reviews of those speakers online, that the highs are like annoying or like too much. And I can totally understand it, especially if you're coming from vertical speakers where the tweeter is not really on the height of your ear. Like with the event Opals, for instance, the tweeter is way higher than on the Adams. But when you're used to it, this is really helpful to have the highs so present so fast. So let's talk a little bit about the features of the S3H speakers. They have 2 7-inch woofers and 1 4-inch mid speaker. And the rest of the specs you can just Google them yourself, but what I find really interesting is that they have a USB port at the back where you can operate the complete speaker remotely. That is especially handy if you are wall mounting them, or if you just don't want to like pick the speaker up and turn them around and see in the little panel at the back, what can I do with the settings here? And then you have to go to the other side and do the same thing again. You can just plug in a USB cable and manipulate the settings via PC. You can edit all the parameters of the speaker. You have a 8-band EQ that you can totally customize the curve for your room. You can choose between different factory settings. The classic setting, which I believe is a S3A setting, like an old Adam speaker that you can emulate through. Then you have the pure setting, which I'm using, which is like a little bit more pleasing in the high end. And yeah, you can customize your EQ settings and store those in the user presets. And of course, you can adjust the input gain of your speaker and if it's running on an analog or an IAS-EBO input. So that's pretty much it, what I have to say about the new Adam S3H series. I believe I want to keep them, and let me know what you think in the comments.